The new Patriotic Party, the NPP, the biggest opposition political party in Ghana, has announced the timetable and the timeline for election of its officers who run the affairs for the party for the next 4 years. The NPP says from March this year, it will start the registration of its members, and then in September, it will elect national officers who run the affairs for the party. The NPP says it is ready for its internal election after the election of its presidential candidates on the 31st of January 2026. Hello again, and welcome to the Situation Room, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Today on the Situation Room, we're talking about the NPP and its internal politics, the timetable for the election of polling station executives to the national officers for the party, and the timelines as given by the General Secretary of the NPP. We'll also tell you the makeup of the various electoral colleges as far as the election of officers for the NPP is concerned. And also, the petition to remove the chairperson of the country's electoral commission, as they say at Tonsum, it never happened. The Chief Justice says there was no cause of action for the removal of the chairperson of the electoral commission and her 2 deputies and the special prosecutor after 7 different petitions were sent to the president for the removal of these officers. Today on the Situation Room, we're looking at these 2 issues, and then we'll have a conversation on it. My name is Sami Wiafe, and as usual, I'm here with my friend and colleague, Fred Tete Jabano.
On DSTV, a fresh face alongside a host of new personal and professional troubles awaits the crew at Firehouse 51.
The city needs a leader like you.
The Skinwalker team return to investigate even more unexplained paranormal phenomena around the U.S.
They can see these portals.
And a doctor and a mystic join forces to help the vulnerable.
I am completely prepared to follow your orders today.
Stay connected to the unmissable on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
Are you ready to revolutionize the future of agriculture? The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, in partnership with the Ghana Exim Bank, proudly presents the Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026. The fair will feature exhibitions, market linkages, masterclasses, and workshops on climate-smart farming, digital tools, and export development. Join us at the Black Star Square from March 17 to March 19 at 9 a.m. each day. The President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be assisted by the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the Honorable Elizabeth Ofuswejari, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Honorable Sylvester Adina Mensah, to open the fair. Government agencies, agrotech firms, startups, farmers, financial institutions, and the general public are all welcome. To exhibit or for inquiries, call 0559 679326 or 0242 585419. Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026, transforming agribusiness through local innovation and technology.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Situation Room, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. On Situation Room, as you know, we talk politics, anything that has to do with politics in this country. Today's conversation is based on 2 issues. Number 1, a petition to remove the country's chairperson of the Electoral Commission did not happen. As you remember, on the 18th of February this year, the government spokesperson or the Minister of State in charge of Government Communication, Phyllis Kwachofos, issued a statement announcing that 7 separate petitions have been sent to the president seeking the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, her 2 deputies, and the special prosecutor. On Tuesday, there was another statement from the same office announcing that the Chief Justice has written back to the president telling him that there's no cause for action for the removal of the Electoral Commission chairperson and her 2 deputies, as well as the special prosecutor. Now, it comes on the back of a number of conversations, including that of the national chairman of the NDC, who said in a public interview that there was a need to change the Electoral Commission and 2 of her deputies. Today on the situation, we are finding out the details of this response from the Chief Justice to the President and the reaction from some of the individuals who had sent a number of these petitions to the presidency. And then we'll speak to Election Watch, one of the organizations in the country keenly always monitoring activities of Ghana's Electoral Commission and the electoral processes in this Ghana. What they make of this response from the Chief Justice, that indeed there's no cause for action for the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. And when we are done with that, the biggest opposition political party in Ghana, which is the NPP, announced the timelines and timetable for the election of its officers who will run the affairs of the party for the next 4 years, starting from the polling station to the national level election. The party's general secretary at a press conference on Wednesday says that between the 18th to the 20th of September this year, there shall be the election of national officers who run the affairs of the party. But then the process will start from the 1st of March to the 31st of March, where the party intends to start with its mobilization process and the reopening of membership for any Ghanaian who seeks to be a member of the new patriotic party. Today, we'll take you through the timelines and the modalities and those who qualify to be members of the NPP and those who are also seeking for positions within the party, the qualification they must bring on board, and the electoral colleges for the various positions that need to be contested within the new patriotic party. This is our program today for The Situation. My name is Sami Wiafe, and I'm here with Fred Tete Jabano. Fred, what's up?
Sami, I'm well. How are you?
I'm well. Looks like the politics not going away anytime soon.
Politics is always with us. Every day we wake up, there's one form of politics going on. It could be partisan, it could be in another form.
Yeah.
But politics will never go away.
Well, we heard from the presidency about a petition to remove the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and her 2 deputies. On Wednesday, there was a statement also, which the Chief Justice says there was no cause for action for the removal of the Chief Justice, the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, her 2 deputies, and the special prosecutor. On the back of 7 different petitions to the president for the removal. Tell us about this issue.
So, as you said, you recall in February, somewhere in February,
the 18th of February to be specific.
February, the presidency released a statement indicating that they had received 7 petitions, all seeking for the removal of the Electoral Commission chairperson and her deputies. These particular petitions were brought under Article 146 of the Constitution, looking at the fact that the 3 top leaders of the Electoral Commission fell under the 146 for removal. So what they decided to do, or what the president had to do, was to forward these petitions to the Chief Justice, who was going to handle the case. These 3 people fall under the justices who are within the Superior Court. Their conditions and of service falls under the justices of the Superior Court. So this was a procedure, 146. It goes, the Chief Justice would establish whether there's a prima facie case to be answered. If there's a prima facie case to be answered, the committee will be set up. And after the committee is set up, what happens next is that whatever the committee arrives at, that is sent to the president announces. So whether the people are removed or not removed, the president would come and announce that this is what the committee found and this is the decision which has been taken. So that process was taken, we went through the process, and yesterday the government spokesperson released a statement, and in that statement the government spokesperson made it very clear that the Chief Justice had finished his work and has found no prima facie case. So when you look at the statement reads as following the receipts of 7 petitions from various individuals and groups for the removal of a chairperson of the Electoral Commission and her deputies, and 3 petitions for the removal of the special prosecutor, President John Dramani Mahama, in accordance with Article 146 of the Constitution and Section 715 of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Act referred same to His Lordship Chief Justice Paul Bafoboni on 25th November 2025 to determine whether the petitions disclose a prima facie case. By a letter dated 26 January 2026, the Chief Justice informed His Excellency, the President, that no prima facie case has been established by the petitions. To sum all this up, the President says, look, the Chief Justice has finished his work. He says he's found no prima facie case. So the procedure for Article 146 could not even continue, because first there's establishment of a prima facie case. If you are found, or there's something found for you to answer, then there's a committee set up. So it didn't even go through the entire process. From the very beginning, the Chief Justice says he found no prima facie case against the three people leading the Electoral Commission. Following that, we saw another letter, which is usually written on that green letter by the President, informing the petitioners of the decision of the Chief Justice. You would also know that when these petitions are filed, it's not made public. So details of these petitions you'll not find within the public space. You can only get to know the details of the petitions after the issue has been dealt with. And in one of the letters to the petitioners, informing them about the decision of the Chief Justice, this is what the President said. So I'll just read some aspects of that green letter. It says that by a letter dated 26 January 2026, the Chief Justice informed His Excellency the President that no prima facie case has been established by the petition to warrant any further investigation. The Chief Justice's letter states as follows: while the allegations raise serious constitutional and administrative questions, they do not on the face meet the threshold required for a prima facie to determination of stated misbehavior or incompetence, or warranting a committee to be set up to inquire into the petition. The petition largely rests on conclusions of unlawfulness and bad faith without establishing a preliminary level clear facts demonstrating intentional wrongdoing or manifest inability to perform constitutional functions. Even if the Commission's actions or inactions are assumed to be erroneous, controversial, such shortcomings do not automatically translate into stated misbehavior or incompetence within the constitutional sense. Conclusion: the allegations disclose disputes over constitutional interpretation, administrative justice, judgment, and institutional response to complex transactional arrangements, rather than conduct of grave personal or culpable as to justify a prima facie determination for removal proceedings. So this particular thing sent to the petitioners had to do with the issue of SAL. So you recall that in 2020, the people of SAL could not get representation in Parliament because of some administrative procedures by the Electoral Commission. People raised this issue, people petitioned, people went to court to ensure that the people of SAL are represented. For 4 years, they did not have representation in Parliament. Based on this, someone wrote a petition to the President stating that the actions by the Electoral Commission chairperson and her 2 deputies led to these people not being represented in Parliament from 2020 to 2024. Hence, they believe that this was a stated misbehavior and she should have been removed. But following the Chief Justice's assessment of the petition, the Chief Justice says, no way, you have not been able to establish a case against these 3 people to come and answer, so your petition has been dismissed. So, as I said, petitions are usually not put in public, into the public. But after the decision is taken, you get an idea or a sense of some of the petitions and what's the content of the petition. So this particular letter we just read is a response to one of the petitioners who wanted the electoral commissioner and her 2 deputies removed because the people of SAO were not represented in the 2020 parliament. This was one of the petitions. The other 7 petitions would have their own issues which were raised. So, I mean, after this, there's been responses to the Chief Justice position that nothing was found. A lot of people within the NDC are now happy about the fact that the Chief Justice has not been removed. You know, before the elections, they had raised concerns about
the
what they
Electoral
believe
Commission,
that was the actions by the 3 people working against their party and certain comments and things they had said. And they wanted these 3 people out of the Electoral Commission. But they did not succeed based on what has happened. And they are very unhappy. There are people who have also welcomed the decision by the Chief Justice. They say this is good for our democracy. This is good for continuity. They are saying that, look, the judiciary is working now. They believe that there are no manipulations within the judiciary, basically because a petition is forwarded by the president. A party in power had always insisted that they want these people out. This is sent to the judiciary, and the judiciary says, no, you don't have a case. So there are people who believe that per this action by the judiciary, led by the Chief Justice, democracy is working, the judiciary is working, there's independence, and it should be lauded. People should be happy, people should accept the decision as it is, so we move on as a country. So this is what has been happening with regards to the Electoral Commission and calls for their removal.
Okay, let's stay on this matter and then take a reaction from the convener for Election Watch Ghana, Mark Ewusi Ako, one of the key individuals or key organizers that keeps a close monitoring on Ghana's Electoral Commission and its activities. Let's go on Zoom now and speak to Mark on this matter. Mark, thank you very much for your time. What's your reaction after hearing that the Chief Justice says there's no cause of action as far as the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and her 2 deputies are concerned?
Let me say a very good afternoon to you and to Fred. I think that it's important to also acknowledge the fact that people are also watching us from near and afar. A very good afternoon to them. You have laid the preamble explaining vividly what the issues are, just what Fred did. And I am so much happy about that Fred's presentation representing the views of the people is enough evidence for the Chief Justice to take an action on this particular case. However, the outcome of this petition, I want to assure Ghanaians that whatever perception we had about the Electoral Commission is evidence-based. Over 60% of the Ghanaian people had no trust in the Electoral Commission prior to the 2024 general elections. We know also that the NDC, led by the chairman, Johnson Esedin Ketia, even before and after the elections came out clearly to say that Madam Jane Mensah and her deputies are not fit for purpose. We also recall that in recent times, the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Justin Frimpong Kodua, also made similar statements that the conduct of the Electoral Commission makes them unfit for purpose as far as democratic governance is concerned. But as I said, whatever outcome has come from the Chief Justice does not exonerate the Electoral Commission's incompetence and their level of bias. But what is more worrying is that government seems to prioritize institutional stability over electoral integrity, which is a very dangerous ground for us as a country. I am saying this because we know previously that the trust that the Ghanaian people had for the judiciary had dwindled so much so that there was no hope and there was no trust. For which reason, people filed the petition for the removal of Madam Tokonu. It is on this same tangent that somewhere 2017, Madam Charlotte Osei was removed from office on grounds of incompetence and procurement breaches. This current electoral commission we have, we all know that people have raised several allegations about their conduct that has to do with electoral mismanagement, dealing with delays of announcing results. We remember in 2020, she exhibited one of the highest incompetence of her life by declaring over 3 times, 4 times an already collated results, creating confusions in tallies and the level of inconsistencies we saw in providing data, mainly fraud, election-related violence. And remember that singular act led to the killings of innocent souls in Techim and South. It is as a result of the mismanagement and lack of coordinated data from the Electoral Commission. We're talking about the lack of transparency of the Commission, where unilateral policies changes have been bypassed by the Electoral Commission and ignoring consensus building during IPAC meetings. What didn't happen? Madam Jane Mensah and her deputies took an administrative decision that disenfranchised the people of Central Kofi Lolobi and Akpafu a representation in Parliament.
So Mark, hello Mark, sorry to butt in, but then are you of the view that despite the decision from the Chief Justice, you still believe that the Electoral Commissioner or the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, the 2 deputies, are not fit for a purpose and they must move or just leave because you believe that a few of infractions that you've mentioned, they are not fit for a purpose, they can't be in office despite the decision from the Chief Justice? Is that your view?
I was highly surprised this decision coming from the Chief Justice, because it is straight knowledge that there have been operational failures of this commission, there have been lack of transparency of this commission, there have been electoral mismanagement of this commission. They have taken administrative decisions that have affected negatively the good people of Ghana.
Were you one of those who sent the petition?
I have not sent a petition, but following the conversations, we also have a petition we want to present, and we are trusting that our petition will not meet the Chief Justice. He will go through and at the end of the day flip it and write to us that he did not establish any prima facie to warrant the suspension of
So you are filing a fresh one despite the previous one. You are filing a fresh one, right?
Exactly. And it is so interesting that the Constitution does not give a ceiling or a caveat to the number of petitions that ought to be filed on a particular case.
Are you filing the same issues as been filed previously? Is it the same matter? Is it the same allegations, the same issues you raised in your petition that the Chief Justice has just ruled on, or yours is going to be different?
Ours is going to be different, and we will inculcate into our petition some of the ones that people have already filed. That has to do with office mismanagement and administrative lack of administrative decisions that were taken. We believe that it went a long way to disenfranchise people, for them having a representation in Parliament for 4 solid years. Remember, there was a voter registration for the new entrants, that is the 18 years young people. The decision the Electoral Commission took was administratively biased and had the consequence of disenfranchising a lot of people from registering because of the distance and the locations they were coming from. Democracy is expected to be taken to the doorsteps of our people. Why would it be that a registration exercise is conducted at the district office for people to travel over 15, 20, 30 kilometers to get themselves registered? What happened to those who could not register? A clear demonstration of disenfranchising the people to administrative decisions, which didn't go well for many Ghanaians as we speak.
Mark,
and it is for that reason that many people who had lost trust and confidence in the Electoral Commission started calling for the suspension of the commissioner. Unfortunately, with this public information and evidence-based information that is publicly out there, the Chief Justice saw no reason in establishing a prima facie in this particular case. In fact, we are worried. But we will still maintain the opposition that this outcome from the Chief Justice does not exonerate the Electoral Commissioner's incompetence, their bias, and their lack of demonstrating transparency and accountability to the good people of Ghana.
Mark, won't you be wasting your time based on what you have said you're going to present as a petition to the fact that the leadership of the Electoral Commission we have now did not perform administratively? The Chief Justice, in his letter, stated clearly that these administrative inactions do not warrant or cannot translate to be stated misbehavior and incompetence. So if you've seen this and you are going back with the same petition with some of the same issues back to the president, sending the same petition to the president for a removal, you get the same response from the Chief Justice, which says that these things do not translate to stated misbehavior. Wouldn't it be a waste of time?
I think that we remember what happened during the process that led to the suspension of Madam Tokonu, the former Chief Justice. Issues of human rights abuse was raised. Issues of human rights violation is one of the key things that is associated with Sanchoko Filulubi and Akpafu. Denying people a representation in parliament through administrative decision is against the right of the people. Perhaps, I don't know whatever contributed to the decision the Chief Justice made. However, our issue is not necessarily going to be based on the exact, for lack of better words, statements that probably others have sent as a petition to the president. Ours may carry a different line. Ours may carry a different strategy altogether. But at the end of the day, it will all amount to operational failures and administrative decisions taken by the Electoral Commission that has gone bad and have never contributed to the integrity of the electoral body. And we will continue to maintain the fact that there are other avenues to explore. Of course, there are things like decisions that led to recalling of ballot papers during the special voting at the Eastern region, the Central region, and then the Western region. What contributed to that? And that alone have cost the country 10 million Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Causing financial loss to the state.
Okay.
And so these are all.
Okay, and all this will feature in your petition. Mark, I want to say a big thank you for your time. Thank you so much for your time. Mark Ewusi Ako is a convener for Election Watch, seeking to also present a petition to the presidency that will ensure, for want of a better word, that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and her two deputies are removed from office, even though the Chief Justice has just come up with a decision that there's no way that, or there's no establishment of a case or cause of action for the removal of them. Mark and his people, Election Watch, say they're also going to send a different and a separate petition to the president to ensure that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and two deputies are removed from office. This is the situation room coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll deal with the MPP and its internal politics.
Pata mabaminole ngobata we milolo ashimo kubeli bashe wetse just no mopako
osimolelo
me tu enjole tentao
tu enjole yena kashane shani no
Ago Ghana. This March, we don't just remember where we're from, we celebrate who we are. Our stories, our culture, our rhythm, our pride. And it all begins with an evening designed to set the tone for an unforgettable Heritage Month. Join us as we officially launch the Heritage Month 2026 in grand style, color, and culture. Date is Wednesday, 25th February 2026. The venue is the Channel 1 TV Gardens. The time is 5:30 p.m. prompt. It will be an evening of culture, conversation, music, fashion, and storytelling as we unveil the exciting lineup of events and programs specially curated for you this March. From powerful cultural experiences to engaging community moments to celebrations that connect generations. The Heritage Month 2026 promises something for everyone. This is more than a lunch. It's a gathering of cultural lovers, a meeting of tradition and modern expression, a night that sets the heartbeat for the month ahead. The Heritage Month Launch 2026. We will see you there. This event is strictly by invitation.
Bestie, meet my lovely family.
I mean, we can do that whilst I'm seated and eating. Let me put on the food before we eat.
He will be here for days, and I only find out at the family dinner on the day that he arrives.
Morning, family.
Everything in the kitchen is actually gone.
You know, in the UK, I work like a donkey, but here, I eat like a monkey.
My noodles just vanished like a spirit had brunch.
He finished my slightly burnt oil rice.
Half a crate of eggs cannot just poof, disappear.
Good morning, oh.
Lisa, have you by any chance gone to the kitchen?
Madam, unless the kitchen wants to be my sleep, we are there in the kitchen.
If I die, won't you serve food at my funeral?
Daddy! Heaven save us! My what's
Bestie.
Away, Dad. I'm sure he's gone.
Good morning.
I thought you were gone.
The Blank Scene family is here. The vibe is too much.
Yeah, welcome back. You're still watching The Citiuation, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Now we talk about the MPP and its politics. On Wednesday, the General Secretary of the party, Justin Frimpong, addressed the press conference and says the party is ready to organize the internal election after the election of its presidential candidate on the 31st of January 2026. The party says it will start from the polling station and rest at the national level. So the party says between the 18th to the 20th of September 2026, the party will hold elections to elect national officers who run the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. But before then, it will start from the polling station, and it starts on the 1st of March this year, where the party will open up the process for new membership or a membership drive, where anyone who wants to be a member of the MPP will have opportunity to go and register at the various polling stations and get registered to be members of the new patriotic party. Fred Jabana will take us through the timelines and the timetable and the date for the various elections, the polling station, constituency, regional and national election, and the individuals who qualify to run these positions, and also look at who best fit to be in these various positions. Fred.
Sami.
Just I think, is it a week or two ago, the NDC announced theirs.
About 2 weeks
About
ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yes, they announced their plan and timetable
Yeah.
for the elections. Their timetable has already been kicked in. They started registration of new members. The MPP have just announced this, and theirs will be starting soon. So let's see how the party intends to run this particular elections. Don't forget that there's always been the issue of top-down, bottom-up. Now the party is now practicing bottom-up after forgetting the top-down one. doing the top down. Now they are practicing bottom up. Bottom up in the sense that for internal elections to take place, it needs to start from polling stations. So it's a bottom up approach. But for the flag bearer elections, they decided to go from the top down. So let's see the plan of the party. The party, like you said, have started or will be starting a membership drive. That would start the whole process for the internal election. So the party is looking at from 1st March to 31st March, where there will be weekly meetings at the polling station level where people can now come in and register. So if you want to be part of a party, you have to now join a polling station. And the party within the polling stations would have to meet weekly within this period to allow people to register. The General Secretary of the party says that no registration will take place outside the meeting of a polling station. So the only time registration can take place is when there is a polling station meeting. So he's directed for a weekly polling station meeting where people can't come and register. During this period, after the 1st to the 31st of March, there would be the data management and verification. So members of the party will now have to come and verify their names within the registers at the polling station. That will take place from the 10th of April to the 14th of April. So from 1st of April to the 10th of April, the membership date, the register will be opened for people to check their names and ensure that their names are within their party's register at the polling station level. Then from the 14th to the 16th of April, other people who had registered previously during the 1 week could also come and check. So then you'd have a full and complete register for the elections. From this membership drive, you move on to the polling station executives, election of polling station executives. Nominations would open from the 20th to the 24th of April. Then election processes, vetting, will take place from the 25th to the 30th of April. There will be appeals if you have challenges, which will start from the 1st to the 4th of May. The notice of poll will be published from the 6th to the 9th of May. Then the election itself would take place from 10th to the 16th of May. So within this period, 10th to the 16th, various polling stations across the country would hold their polling station elections. In this particular elections, all registered members within the polling stations are eligible to vote in this particular polling station elections. When the party is done with the polling station elections, they would move to the next stage. Within the NPP, the structure starts from polling station, then would go to electoral area coordinators.
Yeah.
So what happens to the electoral area coordinators? For the electoral area coordinators, nominations will open from the 3rd to the 25th of May 2026. After they finish these nominations, there will be vetting. The vetting of people who have picked forms from the 26th to the 31st of May. Following the vetting, if there are issues, there will be appeals. The appeals will take place from the 1st of June to the 4th of June. After the completion of this process, elections will now take place. The elections for polling station coordinators will start from the 10th of June to the 15th of June 2026. This is also going to take place nationwide.
Okay.
Following the process of, this process of electing electoral area coordinators, would move on to the next level, which is the constituency elections. And don't forget that for constituency elections, from polling station to electoral area coordinators, they will play a very key role on who becomes an executive in the constituency. Because polling stations and electoral area coordinators all fall within the constituency. Yeah. So anybody eyeing a constituency election would have an interest on who is winning polling stations to electoral areas.
And that's where the confusion always comes, especially those who have parliamentary ambitions. That's when there are a number of accusations that people are holding the album. And so you always hear confusion about this is where the confusion starts.
So actually this goes
where
beyond,
the confusion starts.
This goes beyond even constituency elections to parliamentary.
Yeah, the parliamentary. Because this is a constituency election. It's the same album that will be used in the election of constituency. It's the same album used for the election of the parliamentary candidates. So that is where the confusion always starts. And Fred, believe you me, when this process starts, we hear stories about how people are fighting over this particular election. Because that's where that's the basic, and that's the basis for the election of parliamentary
that's
candidates.
The main base.
The main base, and that's where all the confusion starts. That's where it starts. Because people are accused of bringing people who are not in the constituency to be executives, and we are here, Uzi.
But the decision of the party to hold weekly meetings for people to register, wouldn't that solve that problem of new people coming who are not within the constituency?
I doubt because if the sitting member of parliament, for instance, is in there and still has an ambition of running again, it's just easy to transport people who don't even reside within the police station, within the area, to come and infiltrate. And it's about election. And you know how our election has become, Fred, monetized. You can pay people to get your way through. And so I foresee people capitalizing on this. The incumbent members of parliament who are seeking re-election and other individuals who want to compete as members of parliament.
So let's look at the dates for the big election at the constituency level. So the nominations will start from the 22nd of June to the 24th of June 2026. Vetting will take place from the 25th of June to the 27th of June. Appeals will start from the 28th of June to the 30th of June. Then the notice of poll will be published from the 2nd of July to the 5th of July. The election itself will take place from the 11th of July, between 11th and the 12th of July. So across the country, 11th and 12th, each constituency within the country would elect executives. So some will do theirs on the 11th, others will take place on the 12th. But what is required of you as a member of a party who wants to contest a position within the executive and the executive position within the constituency? If you want to be a chairman of a constituency, you are going to pay 1,500 cedis as nomination.
Okay.
The vice chairperson will pay 1,000 cedis. Then other positions will pay 500. This is quite affordable, I think.
Yeah.
Looking at previous times, I think this is quite affordable for people within the constituency level to contest to lead the party. And don't forget, once you're in opposition, a lot of people are interested in contesting party positions. Why? Because there's no governmental positions available for you to be holding. So anytime a party is in power, you realize that your constituency branch level, the interest is not really there, because most people want to occupy positions within government. As soon as you go to a position, you realize that the
everybody's interested in coming back home.
The internal positions of the party increases, because they now want to take charge and hold on the party at the various levels within the party. So the party people who are eligible to vote in this particular elections for constituency will be constituency executives, electoral area executives, polling stations executives, and designated elders and patrons. So like Sami, you said, polling station, electoral area, elders, patrons, and current executives of the constituency.
And it's the same album that will be used for the election of parliamentary candidates. The same album.
So this, you may say, is the most important the internal election for the party.
If you are a member of parliament seeking re-election, or you have an ambition of going to parliament, pay critical attention to this aspect of the election.
This structure.
Pay critical attention to the aspect.
Not even regional and national.
Pay critical attention to this part of the
constituency.
Pay attention here.
Let's move
because
on.
You lose gas more, you go past your under.
Let's move on from the constituency, which would be the base for which regional executives would be elected. So let's see what happens to regional executives. So after the constituency level, the next thing is the regional. And like I said, for the regional, its base is the constituency. Yeah. Just like how the constituency's base is the polling station and electoral areas. Regional, the base is constituency. So we finish constituency. What happens to regional? Nominations would open from the 15th to the 17th of July. Right after that, you would go in for the next timeline, vetting, 20th to the 23rd of July. Appeals, 24th to the 23rd of July. Notice of polls will be published from the 27th to the 30th of July. Then the election itself will be 2 days, 8th and 9th. Yeah. So across the country, all the 16 regions would have to decide whether their elections will be held on the 8th or on the 9th of August 2026. What are the fees here for people interested to lead a party within their regions? For chairman, 10,000 cedis. To become a regional chairman, you are going to pay 10,000 cedis. The vice chair pays 8,000 cedis. Then other positions including secretary and
treasurer,
all others, treasurer,
organizer, youth
would
organizer,
be 5,000 cedis. 10,000, 8,000, 5,000. Who are eligible to vote in this election? Regional executives, members of parliament in the region, constituency executives, and TESCON presidents within the region. So this makes up the base for the region. The leadership of a region will make up the base for the region. Once you get this base, and you've had your constituency base already established, the next thing is to elect the people who will lead the party, the people who will make decisions for the party, who will end up being part of the National Executive Council and eventually being part of the National Council of the party. That is the national level. What is the structure for the national level? The party says is opening nominations from the 10th of August to the 14th of August. After the nominations have been opened and people file these nominations, the next thing is going to be the vetting of aspirants. The vetting of aspirants will take place from the 20th to the 3rd of August. After the vetting of aspirants, there will be the release of the vetting report, which will be on the 25th of August. Then, if there are issues and challenges, those issues and challenges will be held at the appeals level. The appeals level would be from the 28th to the 29th of August, 2026. After this, the party gives itself about a month for people to campaign. After 1 month of campaigning, the elections, which would be a conference, will be held from the 18th to the 20th of September. Sami, in this particular elections, which people will make the delegates at the conference?
Okay, so per the MPP Constitution, Article 10 of the party's constitution, this will be the makeup of the Electoral College for this election. All members of the National Council. 2, all members of the National Executive Committee. 3, all members of the Regional Executive Committee. 4, all members of the Constituency Executive Committee. 5, all members of the External Executive Committee. External meaning the party's branches, worldwide. 6, all members of the National Council of Elders. 7, national, regional, TESCON coordinators. And then the party also says, per the Constitution, it continues, and it says, the TESCON president from each recognized tertiary institution in the country. 30 national patrons elected from among themselves. founding members across the country who are signatories to the registration document of the party at the Electoral Commission, all party members of parliament, all party members who are ministers, deputy ministers. This is for those when the party is in power. And then it says, okay, so that's the final one. All ministers of state, deputy ministers, municipal and district chief executive. That's if the party is in power. So this is the makeup of the Electoral College for the national election. For roughly, it will give you close to 5,000, 6,000 people.
So let's get some clarity. Unlike the presidential election, where you had over 211,000 people voting, for the national elections, you are not going to get.
You are not going to have so, because polling station officers or polling station executives are out of this election. This one, we are starting from the constituency level to the national level. The polling station executives were only part of the election of the flag bearer. So their job is done for now. They will only vote again when there's another election for presidential candidate. But for the national officers, it starts from the constituency level to the national level. Okay. So they are not part of this election of national office. So this will give you close to 5,000, 6,000, members of the party, normally converging at one place. Like remember in July 2022 at the Accra Sports Stadium. Yeah, so it's going to be a similar one like that.
So it's not going to be an election which will be held nationwide?
No.
Across the country?
No. Normally they meet at one place. And I'm reliably informed that the party may do it at the Baba Sports Stadium in Kumasi.
In Kumasi.
Yes.
So this is just going to be like the national conference, which was held at the Legon Stadium.
Definitely. But just that the difference is that in Kumasi's own will be election, but at the Lagos Sports, it wasn't like it was just going to amend the party's constitution.
Okay, so let's just quickly go through the Electoral College again. So for Electoral College for constituency, we would have constituency officers, all members of a constituency executive committee, local coordinators, that is the electoral area coordinators. You have the polling station officers who were elected. Then elders and patrons. These are going to be 5 members of the constituency council of elders and 5 members of the constituency patrons. Then you come to the founding members, like you said, any member who signed in 1992 during the formation of the party has the opportunity to vote within the constituency election.
Definitely.
Then for the regional, the Electoral College would include regional officers, so current and 7 regional officers will be allowed to vote. Members of parliament within the region. Then you have constituency officers, all of them. So all constituency executives within the region will be allowed to vote in the regional elections. Then national council representatives. So what happens is that every region has a national council representative who represents the region at the national council level. They are all going to be allowed to vote in this particular election. Then elders and patrons will be allowed. When it comes to the national, this has to do with the constitution of the party. So Article 10.2, which you just read for us, would constitute the Electoral College for the national elections. So as you said, the NDC made theirs known about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Let's see a bit of comparison when it comes to the NDC.
Okay.
Membership registration, the MPP is starting in March, 1st to the 31st of March. What the NDC did was to start from the 10th of February to the 30th of March. So the NDC has about 2 months allowing people to register. The MPP has a month.
Only a month,
Now, polling station elections, MPP starts on the 10th to the 16th of May. The NDC is starting from the 2nd to the 16th of May. So NDC's hand, that's polling what they call branch elections. From 10th to 16th, that is MPP. 2nd to 16th, that is NDC. Then electoral area, that is 10 to 15 June for the MPP. But the NDC does not have electoral area coordinators. So they have nothing to do with that. Theirs will be just the branch level where their people would vote. So for clarity, MPP calls theirs the polling station, NDC calls theirs the branch. Then we come to constituency elections. Constituency elections for the MPP, 11 to 12, that's when they are holding that elections. The NDC starts theirs in September. Regional, 8th August, 9th August. The NDC is going to do theirs somewhere in November.
Okay.
Then regional national elections, the NDC is doing theirs on the in September. MPP is doing theirs on the 18th to the 20th of September. The NDC is going to do theirs on the 19th of December. So there will be about 2 to 3 months difference for the MPP to have their national executive available, and whilst the NDC prepares, because the NDC is going to organize theirs in December. So from 1st to 19th of December, the NDC does their preparations for national elections. Unlike the NDC where they are in government, so people who have occupied government positions, appointed government positions by the president, are not allowed to contest these internal elections. The MPP, it is open for all. Yeah. Because there's no one who is holding any kind of position in government. So that's the difference. MPP is open for all. NDC, once you're an appointed person to government, you cannot contest. The only time you can contest is when you resign to contest. And you have been given 6 clear months to resign.
Interesting. Interesting how the two political parties have set out modalities for the election of their officers within the party. And as I said earlier, politics is always with us.
Yes, I mean, we breathe, we eat, we drink politics.
I've heard people within civil society organizations say that the electoral cycle is just an election throughout. There's no rest. Election for the political party, and then there's proper election after every 4 years. Therefore, there should be a break from all this party politics.
That's the cost of democracy.
And the likes,
That's the cost of a democracy.
Election 2024 just ended. MPP as a presidential candidate. And then started with it in 10 elections. So it looks like the election motion is always on. It's always on. It never rests.
We need to pay that cost, especially if we say we want to practice democracy, because we cannot just appoint people and leave people to stay in a particular position forever. You need to change them, and you need to give people the opportunity to choose leaders they want to lead them. So what we could do is to legislate the campaigning within the national level in terms of presidential, and say maybe no party or no organization can campaign for the position of president within this period. But for party elections, it's about governing the party, and people need to be elected to govern and rule and lead a party. So for that, I don't think you can do anything about.
Friend, thank you. Thank you very much. Fred Tete Jabon, my name is Samiri Afleri. Brought to you another exciting edition of the Situation Room that came to you live from our studios here in Accra. So we'll come your way again. May the good Lord be with us all.